Hi, welcome to Living as Latinas. I am Jakira and I have my co-host here, Audi. On this
Hello.
week, on this week's episode, we will be discussing energy vampires. I'm sure that we've all had our fair share of people who drain us, like suck the life out of us. And,
Yes.
sometimes we're forced to spend time with them or have to work with them or whatever it may be. They can be a partner, coworker, child, or even yourself sometimes can turn into these people without knowing it. So we will give you helpful tools to recognize when you are dealing with one and how to work through it. Listen and enjoy and learn about something new that you may not have heard of before on our podcast of Energy Vampires.
Yes. I know some people like that.
You
I
know,
hope
some
I'm
people.
not one of them, though. I'm hoping I'm not one of them. But let's talk about some characteristics of an energy vampire. So just for people to, if they have no idea what we're talking about, that way they can start to see how many friends of theirs are actually vampires, right? So the first thing that I can think of is how they don't take accountability.
Mhm.
Okay? So it's about, so let me give you an example. This is happening. These people are doing these things to me. I'm not doing anything. I'm just, what would you call it? A victim in the situation. I
Ah,
haven't done anything, but these people are doing all this stuff, to me.
mhm.
Does that sound like something you have heard before?
Definitely. I mean, I feel like energy vampires, they are so like easy, like very easy to get to know. Um, they make themselves very like charismatic. They're very sweet sometimes when they want to be. They'll say the right things to make you
Hmm.
feel like, oh, they're listening to you and they're caring about what you have to say. Um, but when things don't go their way, that's when you see their true colors, right?
Yes. And
So,
and I think that is one of the things that actually helps them is the fact that they're charming.
mm,
So they know the right thing to say. They know how to say it,
yes.
which is really important. It's not about what you say; it's how you're saying it, right? And I think that is how very easily they can like get out of trouble.
Right.
A-
So,
and at the end of the day, they make you think that there's something wrong with you. You're crazy, or you're the one making things
oh my
up,
God,
right?
that's so true. I just think of like an example in my head, like when something happens, or like they want something for you to do something or whatever it may be, and they'll be like, I'm asking you only because I know you're the best at this. Like,
Of
can
course.
you help me decorate because you're the best decorator that I know? So,
Hmm.
like, I would think that, maybe this is something you would want to do because you're so good at it, right? Don't you
Of
agree?
course. Of course. Of course. So it's like bringing you up, 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 and then just dropping you.
Yeah, definitely. And it gets them out of doing things that they may not want to do too, right? They put it on you. And you accept because you're like, oh wow, we're really good at this. So let me do it. It builds your
Yeah.
ego. But
Your ego is inflated. It's like
yeah,
I am the best at this, so I must do it, right?
exactly. Exactly. Um
How about the fact that they're always involved in some kind of drama? Something is always happening.
Oh my God. It's like, what's the drama of the week, right? What's the drama of the week with these people? It's whether, oh my God, my boyfriend, he just doesn't understand me. We're always fighting. Or, oh, my mom, she's so controlling. Why doesn't she just leave me alone? Or whatever it may be at work, things always happen to me. Things always happen to me, not because I'm responsible for them or because I have done something for these things to happen to me, or it's just because, oh, poor me. Why is this always happening to me? Kind of attitude.
Of course, I'm just sitting here minding my own business, and all these people are just coming at me for no reason. I'm sitting here looking all pretty. And I
Ah,
started to get all these phone calls, all these text messages with drama. I'm not involved. They're making me be involved.
yeah,
So I
always.
think that one thing to look for, I think that is the most important one, is the fact that somehow there's always drama going on,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
right? There's no, like, I'm gonna take a break. There's no break. There's no break. There's just drama
Uh,
and fun.
Another one is like they always try to one up you. So, if you talk about an accomplishment, something you did recently, something you've noticed, like, oh, I was really able to find a really good restaurant this weekend that serves the most amazing Italian food. Be like, oh, yeah, well, I know about this other place that you haven't gone to probably, and it's
Mhm.
probably better. You should try it. And it's like,
It's definitely better
yes.
because it's not the one you picked.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Which brings me to the next one. How about diminishing your problems and playing up theirs? So their problems are bigger. Their problems are more important or more serious than yours. Because you got it good, Jakira. You have a good life. Nothing ever happens to you. Look at you. But look at me. All of these things happening to me all the time.
It's like a theme, like, woe is me. I feel like these people, like, they should just have like a little orchestra follow them around with the violin all the time and be like,
With the drama. And let me just tell you, with this one, I think it's both like the responsibility, it's both theirs and ours, like people like you and I. Because when something like that happens, always, when something like that happens to me, I don't, it's not that I truly believe that my problems are less serious, but in the moment, I never speak up.
Mm,
It's like I do believe in the moment that that is true.
right.
But then, like afterwards, I always end up thinking, of course you don't know that I have problems because you don't let me talk. It's not that I don't want to share, but when?
Yeah.
Because you spend the whole time talking about your problems.
Oh my God. I know people like this in my life where it's just like, we'll go out, to spend time together, people that I haven't seen in a while. And I just want to catch up and just be like, hey, how's life and everything. And then sometimes I hesitate so much asking that question
Because you know what's going to
because
happen.
it opens up like the Pandora box, where it
Yeah.
goes from having like a dialogue between two people to a monologue.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't even get a word in. Like as much as you try, it's just like I think that this might even happen sometimes. People, I want to test this theory out. Like, even if I just put like a silhouette of myself there and they think that I'm really there, but I'm not, I want to like walk away and see how long it takes them to actually notice that I walked away. To be
They would
like,
probably they would probably not notice for a long time. Because I think that I seriously think that the whole point for them in having a conversation with someone else is for that person at the end of the speech, right? For that person to say, you're right. Like, you, that happened to you. Like, it's his fault, it's her fault. You had nothing to do with it. There's no reason why you should be part of this. So what
Mm-hmm.
they need from you is not to be part of the conversation, but only to validate the points that they want validated. And that's it.
Yeah. And I think
That's the
that,
whole
like,
point.
sometimes even too, I feel like when there's certain people like this in your life, sometimes you want to change the conversation to something more positive,
Hmm.
but it keeps coming back and it keeps
Yeah.
coming back and it keep coming. And you're just like, really? Like, let's talk about the weather. Oh, the weather. What about it? My arthritis.
But
It's like you don't even have arthritis. Like, what are you talking
well,
about?
I do now. I do now. Okay. I have it whenever I want to, Yakira. No, but seriously, I get what you're saying. It's even debilitating. Is that the right word to use at times? Because you're like, you're hopeless in the conversation. There's no point of
Mhm,
trying to get your point across. There's no point on changing the conversation. You're trapped
mhm,
until they decide that the conversation is over. Like they're done dumping all of these things on you. And what I find, I don't know about you, Yakira, but to me, how I know when I have encountered an energy vampire is because I feel drained. And then I'm like, but I haven't done anything. I'm just sitting here. I'm not even talking because they don't let me talk. But why am I feeling this way? I feel like all my energy just went somewhere.
like the tension headaches. I get tension
Yeah, and I
headaches.
get I get the headache. I get the feeling like I literally feel trapped. Like I don't want to be here. I want to run.
Mhm,
And those things, I don't think that people I think people notice those feelings, but I don't think people regularly, I don't think they understand where they come from. Like it took me a really long time to notice the pattern. I noticed the feelings that I get, feeling
mhm,
drained, all of these things, but it took me really long time to understand that all of these feelings have to do with this. Like every time I encounter this, it's when I end up feeling this. You see what I'm
mhm.
saying? And I think that it's hard to put it together.
And I think that too, like, since they tend to attract or be around people who are compassionate, people who are loving, people who are caring, who have a good heart. It's really hard because if you're that type of person, you know, dealing with energy vampires, you have to put up boundaries. You have to do certain things, right? And it's
Yeah.
so hard.
You got to take care of yourself. But
It's
it's
so
way
hard.
easier to say that than to actually do it because in the moment when you're there,
Mm-hmm.
you feel bad. Like I have found myself feeling really bad about the fact that I'm thinking what I'm thinking about you right now. You know what I mean? And I should be entitled to thinking whatever it is, but
Mm-hmm.
I end up feeling really bad because I'm like, wow, I must be a really bad person. This person is going through all of these things, and here I am thinking about how they're annoying or whatever it is. But just people, please know you are entitled. You don't have to take it, it's not yours,
It's
especially if it's bringing you all of these feelings, feeling drained, having a headache, feeling guilty.
mm,
What?
the guilt trips, right?
I know. Think about
uh
that.
well, if you're my friend, well, you would do this.
Well, isn't that your job? Isn't that your job, Yakira? Why do I have a friend if they're not gonna, you know, be with me in the difficult times? Yeah, okay, but you have a difficult time every day. Can I have a turn? Can I have a difficult time today? Can you be the person who's actually listening?
Mm-hmm. And you think about it, like the dynamic that that creates in the relationship, right? So you always feel like you have to give, give, give in order
Yes.
to receive. And what you receive is maybe a little bit of love or a little bit of compassion or a little bit of reassurance, like, oh, yes, thank you. You're doing awesome. You're the best, or whatever, in whatever relationship this is going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what keeps us there. It's that it reminds me of like Pavlov, I think, with the lab rats in psychology, where they were doing certain things to elicit certain responses, and
Mm-hmm.
it was creating these loops of behaviors. So every time that that other person gives us something, a reward, then you definitely do it again because you like how that feels, and that creates this connection in
Exactly.
your brain, right? And it's horrible. So definitely, um it creates this codependency between people, and it's not healthy. These types of relationships, whether it's a romantic relationship, whether it's a familial relationship, I see these types a lot in mothers and their kids.
Ooh, talk about that.
So,
I never thought about that before.
Definitely, especially where um, the mother has learned to meet her needs by being the center of attention, creating drama, these kinds of things. It creates this codependency between the child and the mom, so that you have to do these things in order to receive this little bit of satisfaction from your a parent.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the same time, these people are so draining, right? So you have to do this thing for them, you have to do this thing for them, but every time you do, you feel like you just ran a marathon. Like, oh, I
I
have to go
know.
to my mom's house and help her pay a bill. Then when you leave there, you've had to do 30,000 other million things that mm, they could have probably learned how to do these things, but they rather not, because they know that if they ask you to do it and have you come over, they're going to be able to control you in a different way. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So,
I see exactly what you're saying. And what came to me hearing you describe that is, that saying, "Well, I gave you life, right? So I'm entitled
that's
to
that guilt trip.
asking." There you go. What do you mean? Why you have to do that? I gave you life. That's it. That's it. I don't have to do anything else. No,
Hmm.
but yeah, seriously, it is really interesting to see it play out when you encounter one of these people, and you're sitting there and you're just looking at them. You're not even listening anymore. You're just looking at them like, wow. Like, don't you notice that I started the conversation saying that I have something going on? You didn't even hear me, because you're going on and on and on about this same thing that you already told me 100 times.
Hmm.
And 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 that's when it feels debilitating. It's like, okay, I don't matter, right? In this relationship, my feelings and thoughts and beliefs and problems are not important. But
It's
at the
about
same
the,
time, you feel bad for them, and so you're like, okay, so I'll stay here listening to the same story again,
but nothing's changing.
because nothing's changing.
Hmm.
Exactly. Exactly. The other characteristic about them is that they are usually bullies.
Hmm.
And that is something I have a really hard time with, Jakira, like in my personal life. I understand that there's things that you don't agree with,
Mm-hmm.
right? I understand that there's people you not only not agree with, but that you don't like, and that's perfect. That's fine. I have people that I don't agree with, and people that I definitely don't like. But what gets to me though is that you have to find something wrong, something bad about everything and everyone. And those things can be true. Everyone has things that are wrong with them or bad with them.
Yeah.
Whatever. We're
Yeah.
humans. We have bad and ugly and good and beautiful, whatever. But if that human has so many things, why do you only see the bad and the ugly? Always. With
Oh,
everybody and everything.
right.
And that is something that I cannot um I'm usually really good at going with the flow and just, letting people do whatever, and I just sit there. But when it comes to that, it's just like I can't control it. I get mad, secretly mad, right?
Secretly mad.
Secretly. I'm not about to tell you off because of it, but I sit there and I'm like uncomfortable. Like, what the hell? Can we have a little compassion for people? A little
Right.
bit.
And the thing too is like it's very easy to point those things out in other people, but not in yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that that's exactly what gets to me is that, okay, you're making me be you right now because listening to you saying those things about that person makes me then look at the bad in you, which I don't want. So, in essence, in my experience, when I have encountered people like that, I feel like I become a bad person
Because you're
and I
letting
don't
it
like
happen.
it. Not necessarily because I am letting it happen, it's because I start to then think about this person as a horrible person and
Ah,
start to see the bad in them. You see, the thing that I hate the most is what I become
you
when
internalize it yourself. Yeah.
yes, exactly. And I
Mm.
hate it. I don't want it. Like I've spent my whole life trying to find the positive in things and experiences in people. And I have really trained my eyes and my heart to just focus on the good. And then there it comes.
Mm.
And
That
so it is really hard for me to like navigate that.
that negative energy that enters the room, right?
Yes,
And you try so hard like to shield yourself from it or to not like look, but you look and then there you go. You're with it too.
exactly. And then you find yourself because people, let's be serious. We all have it in us. It's not like,
We're not
you know,
perfect. Yeah.
exactly. It's not like, oh, I I would never. Yes, you will. Keep practicing. Keep being with them 24/7, and watch yourself
Yeah.
be worse than them.
Yeah.
That's what happens, right? And I think that is when I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like I don't want to cut you off because that makes me feel like a bad person.
Mm-hmm.
But oh my God, I don't want to be this person anymore, right?
I
It's
think
difficult.
there's a saying that goes like smart people discuss ideas and like dumb people discuss people, like something
People,
like
yeah,
that, right?
yes,
Something
yes,
along those lines. So it's like when
yes,
you're always talking about other people, you're limiting yourself and you're being very small and narrow minded. But when you're discussing ideas and more positive things, it opens yourself and your brain up to think of more things. So
yes, yes. And the other thing is that I think it's really important. It's also really important for them to realize that this is what they're doing to other people because I don't think that they wake up thinking I'm gonna be an energy vampire today, right?
Right.
I don't think that that's how it goes. But so self awareness, people, please just hear yourself. What are the words that you use constantly every day in your life? How do you think the other people are feeling when you're around?
Mhm.
Just put yourself in the other person's position for 1 second and think about if I was them and they were me, how would I feel? That's
And
even a really fun exercise to do regularly.
you think about too the influence of people on other people. So
Yes,
like even putting in the fact that maybe you have a position of power, maybe people look up to you, maybe you're a leader, maybe you're famous, whatever it may be, you know, if you're the one doing these things, being this energy vampire, you're making it seem like it's okay.
yes,
And you're giving
yeah.
permission for other people to do the same. So
And I think
definitely.
that that is when self awareness comes, can be really, valuable. Because think about this, Jaquira. I sometimes hear people now that you mentioned, being a leader and positions of power and stuff like that. I often hear people say, I am really assertive. And that's why, well, I feel happy for you. But can we do that without bringing people down?
Hmm.
Can we do that without making somebody else feel less than?
Yeah.
Because I think that people really get confused with words. They start to put little definitions into the world, the word that's not what it means. Being a female, an assertive female, um, doesn't mean that you have to be mean to people.
Hmm.
To show that you have power, to show that you're a leader, that you can run this place, doesn't mean that you have to be mad and scream at people, make people feel bad. That is not what it means.
Hmm.
It means that
Hmm.
you're collected. It means that you have an opinion and a strong one, and you're able to say it without making people feel bad, and you're strong in your opinion. And it doesn't matter what happens, that is your opinion, even when it's going to somehow, have a consequence because of it. You're like, no, this is what it is. This is where I stand, and that's it. I'm willing to discuss it, but this is me. That is being assertive. That is being a leader. That
Hmm.
is having power.
Hmm.
But
But in a
you
good
see
way.
that example, that had nothing to do with I'm right and you're wrong. I don't care if I'm wrong. It's not about that. It's that is who I am.
Yeah.
And I can talk about it, like I said, I can discuss it. And maybe at the end of the day, I'm gonna be like, you know what, Jakira? I don't know where I got that from, but I'm just kind of wrong with yours because it
Right?
makes more
You're so
sense now.
passionate about yours. You know what? Actually, you convinced me. That sounds like a
Yeah,
good idea.
gotta go with yours for now because mine just weird. But it's not about being right or wrong. It's
Yeah,
about being who you are. You don't have to ask permission to be who you are, but you also don't have to make people feel less than or wrong because of who you are.
definitely. Yeah,
There has to be a combination of things. And I really think that that's where people get confused and things starts to look creepy and stuff. Like, oh shoot, what happened? What happened? Like,
yeah.
we're just having a conversation. Why are you mad?
Right, right.
Why are you screaming right now? Like, what the hell? What happened?
Ay, yeah,
And, and,
right.
and watch your ego. Watch it. Because, your ego is like right there. And it's good. It's defending you. I get it. You don't have to be defended 24/7.
All the time. Yeah. There's too much energy. watching stuff like that, watching people who are like that all the time, it's just
I
sometimes I
get
just
tired.
want to step away from the situation and just let them
I
talk,
know.
let them be like, deal with you over there. I'm good. I'm me. I'm good. I'm here. Bye. Like,
Right.
when you're done, let me know.
Right. And the other thing that goes along with that, with what we're talking about now, it's don't let people tell you that your way is not enough. And I say that because have had people tell me before that I need to be stronger, um,
Hmm.
have like a stronger personality, and I won't lie, right? I'm gonna be honest. In a point in my life, that was actually messing up with my head a little bit,
Hmm.
because it was told to me so many times that for a little bit there, I started to ask myself, what if it's, what if they're right? They wouldn't say that so many times if it wasn't true.
Yeah.
I want to think, right? And then I woke up and I'm like, no, what the hell? No, what am I saying? This is who I am. And I can see how people respect who I am because of who I am. So
Hmm.
why would I want to change it?
Hmm.
Why would you want to be respected for something you're not? I don't want it.
Hmm.
If you're not going to love me or respect me for who I am, then I don't want your love and respect. What
Yeah.
for?
So I can definitely see somebody like who's an energy vampire, like using that against you, like saying these things to kind of creep at you, to say, to be like, you know what, you're doing better than me in this. So I'm going to just plant this little seed right here. I'm going to create this little doubt for you. I'm going to do this. I'm going to just say it and then I'm going to let it work. And then, they
And it
continue to do.
works.
Yes, definitely.
It works.
Yeah. So you have to be very careful about those things. Definitely. You know, making sure that you're surrounded by good people.
Yes, please.
Mhm.
And I have had many opportunities in my life to spend time with people like this, and I have never taken it seriously because you gotta love people for who they are,
Mhm.
and you gotta respect people, and you gotta meet people where they at. All of that crap. All of that crap is good until it's messing with you. I'm not saying it's not good. It is perfect,
Yeah,
but you can't let it mess with you and who you are
and
and
your
how you
goals
feel.
and your dreams, all those things,
You
definitely.
can't. You can't. and
It's
and
like,
that is one thing that I have been learning to do. It's just detaching myself from it. It's not
mhm.
mine, and you're not my kid.
It's like
I'm not
carrying an extra
obligated.
baggage, right?
Yeah, and
Mhm.
somehow they make you feel obligated, like you have to listen to me. You're the only person that listens to me. How about now you don't have anybody? Because I can't.
So true.
I can't do that anymore.
I think that, definitely a way to work on not letting these people control you, of being able even to, like you said, live with them, but not have to deal with them as much, not let them control you, is
Mhm.
having those good, very clear boundaries. Like, we can be friends, you can be in my life, but when it comes to the point where I feel like you're changing who I am inside as a person in my core, because your negative energy is affecting me, then you know what? I need some space. Let's take a vacation. Maybe you can work
I'm
on
gonna
you.
take a break.
Right? To
Oh
work
my
on
god.
you, I'll work on
Mhm.
me. And I think it's very powerful to having even these conversations with them, because I'm not saying that the person's going to change overnight, but just like they planted that seed in you and telling you something, you can also do the same work on them.
Yes. Yes.
So if it's a good friend, somebody in your life, a family member, you know, if you stop being in their life, if you give them a word and say to them, hey, you know what? You said this, and I didn't like that. So now I need a little break from you because I need to readjust how I interact with you. Whatever it may be, however you want to word it, they're going to think about that.
They have to.
If you're their person where they come to you and always ask you for advice, they call you in crisis, whatever it may be, and you're not there because you're like, you know what, I need to heal and I need to work on myself because of you and you're affecting me, they're gonna be like, what's going on? What's wrong in the situation? What am I doing? How can I fix it? You know?
It is, you're right, Yakira. It is going to go somewhere from that. It's either that, like, oh, shoot, I didn't realize this is how I made people feel, and I'm going to do something about it. Or it's going to be like, your fault. You're lying. I'm a good person. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have time to talk to you about that right now because I have all of this million other things going on, and you are bringing something else.
Mm.
Either way, it's the best thing that would
Right?
ever happen to you. Because the first one, it's preserving that relationship that you care about. But the other one, it's just, they're going to detach themselves from you. They're going to do the work for you. So
Right.
you don't have to worry about it. And it's not going to be about you. You won't have to do anything, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Guarding yourself, you know, guarding your emotions and your ability to take in that negative energy. Like put a shield. Don't let them do that. Walk away. Don't hang out with
Yes.
them. If you're noticing that you're feeling this way, don't if you have weekly appointments where you guys sit and talk and have dinner or whatever it may be, you know, cut it off. Don't do
Yeah.
that to yourself because like you don't have to torture yourself for no reason. You're not a martyr. You don't
You're
you're
not.
not fighting for freedom.
And,
Like
and remember that you're not obligated to do
yeah.
anything in life. You don't have to anything. You do what makes you feel good and happy and healthy
Mhm.
and better. So you surround yourself with people that do that for you. It's not that you need somebody else to tell you that you're good and that you're beautiful, whatever it is. But if you're gonna, we are humans, are creatures of society, right? We have to, we want to be with people. So if you want to be with people, be with a crowd that's gonna be with you
Right.
and tell you, yes, you want to do that. Of course, go ahead, do it. And then tell you, this is how you're gonna do it better. This is what I see, and to help you grow and be better. Not with a crowd that's gonna tell you can't do it and you're doing it all wrong and you're not good enough. You don't need that. You have your own head for that.
Definitely. Definitely.
You have your own mind telling you that all the time. You don't need somebody else to tell you.
I think too, like you attract if they're a negative person, they're gonna attract other negative people with them.
Yes,
You don't need that with you. You don't need that kind of energy. You can let that stuff go. You don't have to do that.
that is important. That is important to keep in mind. You want, um, my grandma always, like growing up, she always told us, you, the way that she phrases things are not the best, but the
Mhm.
message is good. So she would say, you guys need to be with people better than you,
Yeah.
hanging around with people better than you. There's no one better than anyone. There's not such thing.
Mhm.
But the message that I know she was trying to convey, I truly believe if you
Mhm.
want to be an honest human and you're not yet, you go and you hang out with honest humans and
Mhm.
you will become that, right? If you want to be successful in painting and you hang out with the painters, it's going to be easier.
That's so true.
But in the same way, if you want to be happy and you hang out with the energy vampires, guess what's going to happen to you?
It's not gonna work out for you. Definitely.
It can't, because there's no room for the happiness.
Mm-hmm.
because your vessel is all filled with negative energy and drama and fights and stuff like that. When are you going to be happy? You won't have time to think about the good things because the drama is going to take over
All the time. Yeah.
all the time. And drama has that ability. It takes you. It's like a river with a really
It's like a
strong
river.
current. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you open your eyes and you realize you're all the way down the river and you're like, what?
How did
How
I
did
get
I get?
here? Mm-hmm.
So pay attention. Pay attention who's around you. Pay attention what they're talking about, what they're saying about you to your face.
Mm-hmm.
And then imagine everything else they're saying when you're not there and everything else they're thinking about that they're not saying.
It can be so much, right? Because if they're
Yes,
doing these things around you about other people, I'm pretty sure that the same thing is going to be happening
yes,
to you.
yes. And remember that you are responsible for your own happiness. You are responsible for the way you feel. Don't let people dictate that for you.
Mm-hmm.
You make decisions for your own health, your emotional health, your physical health. If you're allergic to a food, what do? You don't eat it anymore. Exactly. There you go. If you're allergic to someone's energy, you don't deal with them anymore.
This reminds me, I think, like a mantra that people can say, when they're dealing with things like this, like, today I let go of all the things that do not serve me. I choose to heal my heart, my mind, my body, and soul with self love, compassion, and kindness. And I think that
I
that's
love
so
that.
powerful, right?
It
It's
is.
so powerful.
It is.
Just saying that to yourself and being like, you know what? Like, this doesn't serve me. This isn't for me. I need to move past. I need to heal myself and let it go. So,
Sovereignty.
for yourself. Yeah.
That's what brings what that's what comes to mind. So if you're able to say that to yourself every morning before you have to deal with people, it's the perfect reminder that you are in control of
Mm-hmm.
who you want to be and how you want to feel.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna write it down on a sticky note. Gonna put
That's
it in the bathroom in my mirror. So I have to look at it and I have to read it and remind myself. That's awesome.
yeah, very good.
So
Definitely.
thank you for that, Jakira. That's our homework. Gonna do it.
So, this definitely love talking about this topic. You know, uh, I think that it was very powerful to have this talk and for people to see, that these people that we have in our life, not everybody comes with good intentions. Not everybody is aware of their own things, their own,
Mhm.
negative vibes, whatever it may be, whatever you want to call it, energy vampires. And I think that it's very important to be able to say, no, you know what? We got to go. Like, this is not working out for me.
Not today.
Not today. Not today.
Not today.
Yeah.
So, people, please subscribe to our YouTube page, Living as Latinas. You can follow us on Instagram. The name is Living as Latinas. If there is any topics that you would like us to discuss, you can also email us at livingaslatinas@gmail.com. Download our latest episode on the major podcast platforms. And don't forget to tell a friend. Also, enjoy your week and remember to be kind. And thank you.
Bye.